you let me love you forever, forever? I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
I forgot to put us back on stage. Happy Thursday, everybody. We are back another day. Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda. That is Abby. We are covering all things 90 Day Fiancé, the single life. We are on season 5. We are on episode 3. We are catching up. The art of a situationship. Abby, how do you define a situationship?
I don't think a situationship is a good place to be honest. It is people who have moved past the point of needing to have some kind of DTR conversation, and they're just floating in the ether of undefined get-togethers.
Yeah, I think a situationship is you have decided that you have lowered your standards. So you've decided that, hey, you want a relationship, or you want to be exclusive, or you want to date, and the other person has not come up to those standards. So you have settled for whatever they're giving you. So it's the crumbs that you're picking up, and you are saying that you're okay with it, when really, I don't know one person that is actually really okay with being in a situationship. But that's just me. That's just my thoughts. You guys in the live chat, let me know what you think. If you're watching the replay, let us know what you think in the replay, and we will definitely respond. Shout out to the live chat. Hey, Silver Linings. Welcome. Glad you can make a live. We're going to jump right in. Sophie, because, Sophie's been problematic as far as I'm concerned in the DR. Dating Pedro, but not really dating Pedro, and being a little wishy-washy, right? So yesterday we talked about how if you're dating someone and they're giving you gifts, they're planning trips, you're taking trips with them, they're spending money on you, they're spending time with you, they're telling you how they feel, all the things, and you're telling them, yeah, you're healed, but then you see them after a few months because it's been long distance, and you are a little bit confrontational, a little bit like standoffish. I don't think that that's fair. I think that you're not being fully communicative about what you really want in a relationship. And we've learned from episode 2 that Sophie doesn't really know what she wants. And I dare take it a next step, and I think that she's not healed from her previous relationship. Hey, Radella. Hey, girl. Hey. So the other thing I wanted to say is that everyone needs a friend like Julia. Julia's so fun. She brings like the comic relief to this. She brings like even wisdom, but in a funny sense. You ever have that one friend that she's going to tell you the hard truth, but she's going to make it, oh, this collar looks a little weird. I have this shirt, Abby, that I'm not sure what the collar's doing, but whatever. You have that one friend who, it looks like, does it look weird to you?
No. Oh. It's a cute collar. It's a different kind of collar.
Yeah, it's different, but I think maybe I should have ironed it. I don't iron, you guys.
It's cute. For some reason, it's reminding me of like Scooby-Doo and the Crew, Velma.
Oh, I like that idea. I don't know, but I feel like this one's, anyways, I didn't iron it. I think that's the problem. Anyways, back to what I was saying before see how I get distracted so quickly. Everyone needs that one friend that's going to tell the brutal truths, but not in a way that's confrontational, in a way that you can accept it. Because oftentimes we don't really want to hear the truths, right? But Julia meets Sophie in her room because it's pouring rain in the DR on this 3rd episode. Power's down. So they decide they're going to have a girls' night in. They're going to order some room service, and they're going to just catch up, right? So Sophie tells her all about Pedro and their brunch, lunch, breakfast, whatever it was. the conversation they had. And if you guys recall, Pedro was in his feelings, and Pedro and Liz had a conversation, and Pedro took it a step further and added a bunch of words that did not come out of Liz's mouth. But because he was in his feelings, because you know how men are very sensitive. They don't act sensitive, but they are, especially if their ego is bruised. So he thought he was the one and only for Sophie, finds out that she's still sleeping with her ex, still hooking up with her ex, still talking to her ex, and he thought he was in an exclusive relationship with her. So now his feelings are hurt. And now not only so here's the thing, because I was thinking about it, Abby, last night. So not only does he think that, hey, okay, she's sleeping with her ex and she's not over him, but why do men do this? Then they add extra men that came out of nowhere. He's like, oh, so is there someone else? And she's like, what are you even talking about? So that's what she held on to, because now you're making stuff up. And then she's like, well, you're calling me a liar. And now, because yesterday I couldn't understand why she would say that, but now I understand it. So now you're saying, not only am I sleeping with my ex, but you're bringing some fictional character that you think I'm hooking up with that doesn't exist because your ego is bruised. What are your thoughts on that, Abby?
Oh, I understood that. I understood why she was saying that, but I'm vehemently against what she's doing. So it's not like I'm going to be able to extend her a whole lot of credit.
Yeah, because I think that she should not be dating if she's not dating for a purpose. And if she is dating just to date, then she needs to tell the people that she's dating that this is just transactional. I'm having a good time for the here and now, but there's no tomorrow. And she hasn't done it. And she hasn't done that. And then she gets offended when men that she's dating, confront her about it. She's like, oh, well, I did. You're pressuring me. No, you haven't been clear about what you want because you don't know what you want. And that's unfortunate. So she goes on to tell Pedro that she's getting to know him. She tells him that you can talk to whoever and I can talk to whoever. And if you want to talk to people and not wait for me, then go ahead and do that. If you find someone who's ready to have a family and get married and settle down, then go ahead and do that. But you and I are not exclusive, so I can date whoever I want, which was shocking to him. And he's like, that's not what you told me. You told me that you were healed. And, we've gone on trips before. We've spent time before. The only reason that I have invited you to the Dominican Republic is because I thought we were in an exclusive relationship. I'm introducing you to my family. It's my sister's birthday. It's not just like a random trip, Abby. Mm-hmm. It's a family trip. He's introducing her to family. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, no, I didn't say that. And then she feels triggered because she feels like he's calling her a liar. But at the end of the day, both of you haven't communicated. I blame both of you because both of you have not been honest about where you are and what you want out of this relationship. What are your thoughts?
Same thing. She knows that she's not serious, so she should have said, hey, this invitation to come to the DR is right on time. I'd love to get away. But how do you envision this? What do you think of our relationship? How would you be introducing me to your family as a friend, iron that out, and him as well, before making the invitation, before making the assumption. I just wanted to clarify that I want to date you exclusively. Would you be my girlfriend? Is that something you're interested in? Where are you on that? So yeah, they're both moving recklessly.
And how are you not communicating? Like, y'all, we're grown. We need to use our words and communicate what we want and what our needs are and what our expectations are. How are we not doing that in 2026? I just don't understand it. So she's hanging out at her hotel room with Julia. She's giving Julia the breakdown of what happened with Pedro. And she tells Julia that she's called him. She left a voice note. She sees that he's seen the voice note, but he still hasn't responded. It's been maybe a day or two. And now she thinks he's ghosting her, which maybe he is. Because again, men are very sensitive and then their feelings are hurt. And then they do all the things. And here's the thing that I thought was so toxic, you guys. I just can't. So now Sophie, who the past 2 episodes, who has been screaming to us how she feels pressured, she feels like he's doing too much, how she wants him to slow down, how he has too many expectations, how they're not an exclusive relationship, how they can date other people, and on and on and on and on. She's missing him. She's missing him because he is not responding to her messages. And I just think that's toxic. I literally, all caps, said toxic. What? See that? What?
Mm-hmm.
Toxic. It's toxic. But it also shows, I think, her age. What do you think?
I'm not going to excuse her based on age for this, because the end of the conversation we saw was he wants wife, kids. She tells him, if you find somebody who has that, go for it. Don't stop any show for me. So what is the reason why you want to reach out to him? In this case, I don't think it's ghosting. I think that they reached a natural end in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you want? It's sad that Sophie feels the need to chase after him. He's not what you want. He was very clear about that. So what are we chasing?
And now you want it because it's looking like he doesn't want you anymore. It's toxic. That's just like childish behavior, and it's not okay. Julia brings us the comedy, and she's like, well, maybe he's given up, like, as he should, right? He's done all the things. He's shown you all the things that he wants to do. He's been very specific and direct about what he wants in dating, and you have not come up to the table. So maybe he's moving tables, and that would be okay for him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to add anything, Sophie and Pedro, before I move on to Vanya?
Well, are we going to talk about Sophie and Liz a little bit more? But I have a question for you, actually. Not talk about Sophie and Liz. Here's the question. Sophie says, as my friend, you should only say good things about me. So, live chat, replay, Linda, true or false? If you're my friend, should you only say good things about me, or agree or disagree?
So that's a loaded question. I think that here's what I think. I think in friendships, you should be direct and honest so that you can both grow as individuals. I think that if you're out with groups of people, and especially people that you don't know, then you should always support your friend. And in private, if there's a correction that needs to be had, then you correct them in private. I think that you and I, in the universe of the internet, we don't often agree. And we can debate online, but we always have respect. So I think that you should always respect your friends. I think that you don't always have to agree with them, but I don't think that you should degrade them or correct them in front of strangers. That's what I think.
I agree.
That's it.
See how we agreed.
We agreed. Oh my God, maybe the 6th time in life. Silver Lining says that Sophie plays a lot of games, and it's the same way she was with Rob. She would run till Rob said enough, then she'd want him, which is the same. It's very toxic, and I'm not sure where it comes from, but I do think that she should look into maybe just getting some therapy and working on herself.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Vanya, 42. So one of the reasons I thought Vanya was new, it's because you and I, Abby, didn't cover their season.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know her backstory. So I want to put that out there. So I'm meeting her for the first time on The Single Life, and many of you guys have seen her on The Other Way, and I saw a little bit of her history. It seems a little extra, but I just don't like all this screaming. It's a little much for me. But 42, she's a multi hyphenated worker. She does medical sales. She's a vegan baker, and she's also a belly dancer. Can't be mad at the hustle. Get your money on, Vanya. 2 years ago, she met some guy online from Croatia called Boja. It fell apart in the first 2 days, didn't work. She went online, which I've never done. And I'm curious to know anyone that's on the dating apps. When you travel, do you turn your app on and like calibrate to the city that you're in? Because that's exactly what she did. She met another guy, Yoshko, which was her second match, and hooked up with him. She wasn't being intimate, but I guess she felt that that was the one in the moment. But really, I think her ego was bruised, and she needed the attention and the affection that she did not get from Boja, the first guy. So she got it from the second guy. Turns out they were intimate. He secretly videoed her, and then on the tell-all, she's like, yeah, he violated my privacy. I didn't know he was filming, all this stuff. And he literally admitted it with no remorse. Wild to me. So Silver Lining says Vanya has a crazy backstory. Do you know her backstory, Abby? Because that's all I know about her backstory.
I mean, I did watch it, and it's very much the way that they summed it up. I remember the guy that she was going to meet was incredibly misogynistic and had a problem with her being a dancer. And, it didn't last very long. But I think that more of her story is that she's been on the single life too. I think this is not her first time on the single life.
Oh.
So Silver Lining can tell us that.
Yeah, let us know. But so all I know is that she seems a lot to me so far. And it's the yelling. I'm not into it. But so she went on the other way. Silver Lining said he friend zoned her the minute she arrived. So that's the first guy, Boja. But I do think that there's probably more to her story. So if anyone knows it and wants to share it, let us know. Silver Lining saying this is the first time on the single life for her.
Okay. I feel like there's something in between that like bridges her season to here, because the season I saw didn't have very much of her.
I don't know. I thought she was new, y'all. That's all I know. I don't know if you guys want to fill in the gaps. Please feel free if you're watching the replay. She met Tony. Tony's a doctor. Don't know what type of doctor because they don't say. She met him while she was dancing at his holiday party. They connected, and they've been friends for like 2+ years now. And she thinks that he might be the one. And she's like, maybe the guy in front of me is the one. They hang out all the time. They bond. They connect. All the things. I don't know why I just did that. I was like, oh. Because you know why? And you know what, Abby? It's so funny because you're not the only one that has said this to me. So it's really confirmation. And I'm actually, no, I'm not trying to work on it. It works for me. I don't want to lie to you guys, but it's true. If I don't like you, and it takes a long time for a Canadian to not like you, but if I don't like you, then it's hard for me to believe anything that you're saying. And Abby told me that, and then a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, said the same thing, and I was like, oh, I guess that must be true. And so now that I know that about myself, when I'm like, oh, or rolling my eyes, or my facial expressions don't match my words, it's because here's the thing. Okay, so you guys have been friends for almost 2 years. You now think he's the one, and you kissed him, and now you feel like your friendship is in limbo. Well, I just think that men know. Right. So sometimes people are like, oh, you should make the first move, blah, blah. I'm just like an old school person. I don't believe that. I think men know. Men are men. Men are visual. Men are horn dogs. Men are often unreliable, and they need to be shown what they want. And I think that if he hasn't made a move in almost 2 years, there's a reason why he's not going to make a move. And going down in their segment validates what I'm saying right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she should just leave it alone. You have a great friend, let that be a friendship and continue to date and find your person. But I don't think Tony is her person. And so all of this stuff is just like, ugh, to me.
Yeah, and one of her friends even says like they're afraid that it's all in her head. But I just want to point out also, if you don't want to always be the initiator and the aggressor in your relationship, not the aggressor, but like the one who's more proactive in your relationship, I just don't think it benefits you. Initiator, yeah. I don't think it benefits you to take the first step with someone, because it puts you in a position where you're always going to be the one who has to take the first step and show the initiative. Like, so unless you're okay with having a passive partner, like if you're like Manon and you're okay with having a passive partner, you don't mind being the leader in the relationship, I don't think it's a good way to start out. It's just my opinion.
Oh, no, I'm right there with you. I'm right there. Listen, be manly, take charge, lead, do all the things. That's what I want. Because if not, then I could just do it myself. Like, why am I dating you if I can do all those things myself? Be an initiator, the aggressor, the provider, all the, like, no. Like, so what are you there for? And especially with Colt. I know Colt was not in this episode, but I'm just so traumatized from last time. But with Colt, what is he bringing to the table? This fool can't do anything. He's got 2 broken legs. You got to shower him, shave him, wipe his butt, dress him, feed him, pay his bills. He pays no rent. Like, ew, all those things are just so unattractive to me. Like, why are you, ew, see, look at me, I'm crossing my arms.
3 broken legs. I had to make my little juvenile joke.
Yeah, 3 broken legs. No. So Vanya's concerned that she's in a situation where it's just 2 friends who kissed, and that's okay, Vanya. It could just be that. It could be you had a moment, there was no chemistry or no connection, and you guys continue to just stay friends. That's okay. Why do we have to make it more than it is? Why? She is worried that he hasn't made a move, and she's worried that maybe nothing's there. Follow your gut. If you think that, it's probably true. I think that she's stuck in the fact that she hasn't dated someone who is as established as we're told that he is, right? He's a doctor. She says he's cerebral, so he's smart and he's thinking and all this stuff, and he pays her attention. And you guys, that's not enough to be like, hey, I want to be in a relationship with this person because they're high value, right? And yesterday, if you haven't watched our show yesterday, please go watch the replay. We talked about high value, low value men, and I'm still really interested in your thoughts on that. But she, I think, is thinking that she has snagged a high value man, a doctor, right? Like, oh, I'm Mrs. Dr. So-and-so, right? But there's got to be more than that, you guys. There has to be. So she's going to be meeting up with Tony. She is very, very girly. I'm very, very girly as well. So I had to appreciate that she had a full-on pink Mercedes SUV. I don't know, a pink car. Actually, no, I like pink. As you see, I have pink everywhere. But I couldn't have a pink car. But the other thing that I thought was interesting and curious what you thought. So she has this pink car. She's like, it's part of her personality and her bubbly and all the things. But did you guys zoom in and see that she had an air freshener with her own face on it hanging in the car? Did anyone see that?
That is like, so funny to me. I've seen websites where you can get those made.
It's
thought
weird.
About it. It's for those of us who have our own picture on our phones. We're into that kind of stuff.
Oh, is it a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. For what? Do you forget what you look like?
100% vanity.
Oh.
100% vanity. I like looking at my own face.
Oh.
Who better? Whose face should I put in my car but my own? If I drove my car more often, I would have a cutout of me to be my fake passenger for the HOV lane.
Oh my God. I didn't realize that I was opening up a can of worms here. Okay. Okay. I've never seen that. And so if that's a thing, okay. I just thought it was super weird. I was like, is that her own face as an air freshener? But now I understand. Can I tell you a super side note that I think is hilarious and I'm all for it? So Doce, singer rapper extraordinaire, she told her followers that she hated cats. And it is a big scandal that's going on right now online. Cat people are coming for her. And I read it and laughed because I didn't realize cat people were so serious. Clearly, I don't have the same following as her. And none of you have come for me, thank God. But I was like, there's nothing wrong with her saying that she doesn't like cats. You're allowed to like what animals you like and what animals you don't like. And she said all the things that I believe. Like, she's like, I don't understand because cats aren't naturally domesticated, is what she said. And you all have to like go through like scratches and cat tantrums to finally one day your cat might be cool and loving, but it doesn't happen right away because cats aren't domesticated. They just run the streets and be wild. And cat people came for her. Animal people came for her. And I just want to say, Doce, I'm with you. I understand exactly what you're saying. And there's nothing wrong with you not liking cats.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it is surprising to me because she does look like she would like cats.
She does not look like
she does. She has features that I could totally see her having a cat pet that looked just like her. Well, I won't say she has features because she like uses the tape and stuff, but like the look that she goes for gives very much, I have a cat at home.
Okay. I guess. I was called a cat. So someone that I know says that my personality is like a cat. And we've had a whole discussion about it. And you guys, obviously it's not true. And so when I said, oh, I think that is not true because I hate cats. And he's like, yeah, because cats hate cats. And that's why you hate cats. And I said, I love dogs. He's like, yeah, because you're a cat. So that was wild to me. And, I don't believe that to be true. I'm not fond of them. I've had bad experiences. And I just don't think that they're the first animal that I would choose. All right, moving on. Tony hasn't made a move on Vanya. Vanya's worried that there's nothing there, but she is going to go in her pink Mercedes with the air freshener of her face dangling from the mirror to meet him at like I was going to say a pleasure park, an amusement park. Amusement park. And then we learned a little bit about Tony. So when Tony met Vanya, she was working for him, right, for his holiday party. And he met someone at the exact same time as her. And he decided that he was going to marry the other person. And that relationship didn't last long. It sounded to me like it only lasted months. So it took him some time to heal. And it took him some time to think about pursuing someone else. But now he feels he's healed. And now, these are my words, his plan B, Vanya, makes him happy. And he even said, he's like, makes my worst days feel amazing. We have a lot in common. He thinks she's beautiful. He has a good time with her, all the things, all that stuff that he thought in the beginning, but she was never his plan A. And I want you guys to really pay attention to this, because when you're not the plan A and you're the plan B, yeah, it could work out, but there's going to be problems. And there's going to be problems because that person's always going to think that they could do better. And they're also going to think that they settled. And that's the problem in the situation. Like, I think he's like, oh, I'm a doctor. And also, I think culture is playing a part in it. And I can only speak from experience, but I know outside of America, culture is really like one of the main things. And so when you're finding your partner, a lot of people are finding partners of similar culture, if not the same culture, because family and culture is that important to them. And I dare say for Tony, which, you know, I think that that's his American name,
For sure.
that's a big part of who he is going to settle down with. He might think Vanya is beautiful, blonde, bombshell, all this stuff. But when he looks at his culture and his family and procreating all of that stuff, he doesn't see it because it's another obstacle that he would have to overcome. And he is not committed enough to her to overcome it. Those are just my thoughts.
Fantastic analysis. I agree.
So, has a short-term marriage, decides that he is healed now, is hanging out with Vanya even more. And part of that, I think, is it strokes his ego. She's aesthetically pleasing, and, you know, they have fun together. So they're at the fair and they go on a roller coaster ride, and then they go to like do the game stuff. She wins a plushie for herself, which I thought was hilarious because they had the whole like ammunition and talk. And after she wins her own plushie, and women, I don't know why we do this, because it's there's a time and place for everything, and like read the room. So you're having a great time. You haven't seen him in a minute. You guys are already on unstable ground because you kissed, but like nothing's happening. Just enjoy the moment. Why does it always have to be like this big serious conversation about, oh, like read the room, have the conversations, but have the conversations in the appropriate moments. At least that's what I'm thinking. And so if you're at the fair and you guys have had a great time, and all of a sudden she sits on the fair, the game like console area, she turns to him and she's confronting him about being more than friends. Now he's going to be in a standoff defensive position because he wasn't expecting it. B, he was having this great nonchalant fun time not being serious, and now he has to be serious. So do you think that you're going to get the best results in that situation? I personally don't think that. I think that if you said, hey, like Abby said yesterday, hey, you know what? There's something on my mind. I really want to have a one-on-one conversation with you and just like talk it through. At least the person is ready to know that there's a serious conversation coming up. If you're like, hey, one time I'm on a roller coaster, next I'm like trying to win this plushie, and now all of a sudden you want to have a deep forever conversation, it's too much. Abby, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. There's been no hints that we saw drop throughout the day that this is coming either. So nothing has happened to prepare him. As far as he's concerned, that is a water under the bridge, in my opinion, because apparently it hasn't been mentioned since it happened.
Right. So she now wants to be more than friends and is having that conversation with him. He's shocked and he pauses because she's basically like, you know, what is this? You know, I want to explore being more than friends with you. I want us to be exclusive. I want you to be my man, all the things she's saying. He's shocked and he's silent. And I knew immediately when he didn't respond right away that this was going to go left immediately. And then he says, this is not an easy decision. You know, I'm worried about losing my best friend and I can't commit to being exclusive with you. Now, I can't say yes to us right now, but also I don't want you to date other people. Do you know how insane all the things that came out of his mouth were to me? Let that sink in. So he's saying, I don't want to be with you. And I definitely don't want to be exclusive with you. And I can't give you a decision of when I may or may not want to be. But what I don't want you to do is date other people.
Wacky.
Y'all, women, do not settle for nonsense just because you think you are with a high value man. That man does not want to be with her. He does not want to be with her. And even if and when he is with her, that was not his first choice. So he is going to think in his mind that he's settling. And it's never going to be all the things that you imagined. Absolutely.
Not even his second choice. You're not even his third choice. You were not even one of an enthusiastic choice. You offered yourself up on a silver platter, and that man paused.
Red flag, absolutely. Like, just you know your worth. There's someone out there that wants to be exactly what you want. And when someone tells you, yeah, I can't give you an answer and I don't want to be exclusive with you, but don't you dare date anyone else. Are you crazy? That's all I have for them. Do you want to add anything else, Abby?
That's it. Let's move on to your favorite people. It wasn't a very long segment. It's okay.
I do have a lot of notes though, so that's why I'm like, why do I have so many notes for these fools?
Because you don't like Colt.
Colt and Courtney. Okay, so first of all, this fool is a red flag. I just want to know, and I asked the question yesterday, and I'm asking it again today. He's a red flag to me, and I want to know how he always gets the ladies. Look at him, and not just physically look at him. Look at his personality. Look at the things he does. He's a cheater. He doesn't work. He leeches off of women. And every single woman that he's been with will tell you that he is a leech. I don't understand it.
You know what Colt does have going for him?
What?
He is not afraid of rejection. He does not look at himself and limit himself by who he thinks that he matches in terms of attractiveness and qualities. He shoots for the stars, and he doesn't mind being knocked down. You know, that's what he has going for him. It's not a quality that benefits you or I or anyone he's in a relationship with, but we see him time after time again reaching for women that shouldn't be looking twice at him. It's the audacity. He also has the ability to accept people doing things for him without feeling any kind of remorse or gratitude or anything for that person who's giving him things. He can accept gifts and compliments and somebody else funding his life all day long without feeling any way about it. Meanwhile, I borrowed $20 from a girl when I was in college. And the next day, I saw her and I was eating a pizza. I felt bad for eating pizza when I had not given her $20 back yet. But Colt, he doesn't mind living with a girl in her parents' home, with his laundry being taken care of, with him being dressed, with him being cleaned, all by someone else that he's not even being faithful to. This man is unscrupulous. He's without scruples.
I mean, y'all already know how I feel. So I'm just going to put this up here to be 10 toes down on what I feel. And my first note is my first note, and I don't know if you guys can read it, but I'll read it to you. It says, "Is Colt's belt around his boobs?"
It's over the boob. See, Colt has teardrop breasts. It's on top of the boob.
So do you guys see why I'm like, how do I have Colt and Gino? Like, look at what I'm looking at in the first 30 seconds of his segment. What is this? What is this? And then, y'all, okay, I could, but I didn't because YouTube is very stringent with the things you can show. So I'm just gonna tell you that after wrapping around the belt of his robe over his boobs, then he takes the robe off, and again, TLC, can I get some type of trigger warning? Because that was a lot going. I was like, oh. And I don't know, Silver Lining, I don't know, Radella, if you guys remember in our 90-day news and gossip, I broke you that story where Colt was on OF and it was the exact same outfit that he had on for this episode. So Colt had on this red thong and a red bow tie, and it was shocking to me. I'll say that. But, Abby, told me about, chubby chasers and all of that. And if that's your thing, good on you. And no shame, all the things. But it was shocking to me. And it was shocking to me. I don't like Colt. And so it was just a lot going on between, this.
This picture's so funny.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous. Between this and a thong and a red bow tie. And then, okay, you guys, and then, okay. So, and then besides this and the red thong and the bow tie, this fool had on yellow socks that he did not take off. He did not take off the yellow socks when he jumped on the bed. And here's the thing where I'm like, okay, not only I don't like him because he's a leech, but he's also a faker McFaker. So you're in this walker. Yesterday you were in a wheelchair, but you were able to let go of the walker and jump on the bed with your yellow socks. What? You talk to any home health care worker, any nurse, any person with common sense. This fool is faking the funk, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, very much. He's very much faking it.
I'm only on one sentence. This is why it took so long. You're right, Abby. Let me hurry up on this section. So my eye is like, okay. So he jumps on the bed with his yellow socks and his red bow tie and his red thong and everything else just out there. And Courtney is still working. She's blowing out his hair. She's putting a headband on him. She's giving him a facial. And my note says definitely caregiver. She is doing all the things for him, and that's why he's acting like so broken, because he loves all the attention that he's getting 24/7. Allegedly his leg is broken, and we already know that he has erectile dysfunction, and the major issues between them as well is trust, because he's a cheater McCheater. So all of these things Courtney is thinking about and is wondering why she's with him. But she says she enjoys spending time with him. She loves the person that she's with him. And oftentimes, you guys, as women, we are caregivers by nature. And we like to see people succeed. We like to help people. We like to support people. And I want to make sure that you guys realize that please don't confuse that with love. Being caring
Hmm.
and and nurturing does not equate love. And
Absolutely.
again, I can put the home healthcare workers. If you're a home healthcare worker, you enjoy your patients, you care about them, you want to make sure that they are thriving, and you enjoy seeing them move forward and succeed, but you don't necessarily love them. Just keep that in mind, Courtney.
Right.
Keep that in mind. They're at the house, and they live with her parents. I'm not sure what the whole situation is, but I know that there's a curfew and lights off. And I know that Courtney and Colt don't sleep in the same room. So lights off means Courtney has to go to her own room, which is what she did.
Hmm.
Because because, okay, you guys, I'm really gonna try to be on my best behavior. Okay. Because Colt no, I'm not actually. Because Colt has erectile dysfunction and he's a loser and he has a broken leg and he's a cheater, uh, they're having problems in the boudoir. So he blames it on living with her parents. But I'm telling you that it's not about the parents. It's about his erectile dysfunction and his broken leg and the fact that he's a cheater and he doesn't really want to be with Courtney. That's what it's really
Hmm.
about. But
Hmm.
let's blame the parents. And because we're blaming the parents, they booked a hotel so they could have some alone time. And they've been together for 3 months and have not had sex because he has, what did Courtney call it yesterday, Abby? A noodle, a limp noodle?
um, a gummy. She said a gummy worm, but then somebody in the live chat said it's a gummy bear.
Yeah. Okay, so that part. So they haven't had sex in 3 months, and Colt is blaming their lack of intimacy on living with her parents. Again, it has nothing to do with that as far as I'm concerned. He should work on himself. They get to the hotel. She's pushing him in his wheelchair, which again, you guys, is BS as far as I'm concerned. It's awkward between them. They get to the room. And she's like, I hope we didn't spend all this money on a hotel and to be intimate and to be together for him to have a gummy worm all night, because then she's going to be super irritated and annoyed. I would agree. And you know what, Courtney, you're a better woman than I, because I could not. I just could not. I, Abby, I could not. And you guys, I'm very, very private. As you guys know, I don't like to share a lot of my personal stuff, but I'm going to tell you guys this one story. And it's a very personal story, but I think it will give you a little bit of insight on who I am as a person. And also, I just really want to empower women to know that you are allowed to do whatever you want, because men do whatever they want. So
Hmm.
way back in the day.
Hmm.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna tell the story. I just knowing that this story is gonna be on the internet forever is just like so much. But I'm taking one for the collective women's cause, because it is March and it's Women's Month. Okay, here's the story. So my cousin told me there's this guy. Abby, why is your face looking like that? She's like, oh, I'm ready for this.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
dying. Go ahead.
Okay, so there was this guy. So my cousin told me there's this guy that liked me. And I was back in the day, I was very like strict and very like, I just wanted to like meet my husband, get married, have 2.5 kids, a picket fence, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't interested, even though I would go out and hang out and all this stuff, I wasn't interested in the extra attention. This one
Hmm.
guy, he was like, telling my cousin over and over and over again, I really like your cousin, I really like your cousin, really like your cousin. And I wasn't having it. Fast forward, maybe like a year of him saying that, my cousin's like, you should really give so-and-so a try. Like, he's a good guy, he's like stable, and he's like good, comes from a good family, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay. So one night at the club, he approached me. I was receptive to that. We talked. And then we went home to his home, and he I just want to say this. He didn't have any dysfunctions, but he was terrible. And he was so terrible that I, in the midst of the terribleness, got up and got dressed and left. And I didn't say anything. I just left. And so the next week, my cousin was calling me and saying, like, what happened with so and so? His feelings are hurt. He said you just got up and left, didn't say anything, didn't say goodbye, all the things. And then I told her, and she's like, oh my God, Linda, like, you scarred him for life. And that was so rude of you. I was like, well, I don't feel like it was rude. I feel like I was wasting time. And also, I already told you, like, my gut, and I send Abby memes about my gut instinct and being right all the time, you guys, by the way. That's but my gut was like, this isn't it. But I tried to be open, and I went open, and guess what happened? It was a mess. And so
Shut it back down.
Shut it back down. So a few weeks later, we're out again, and I see him, and my cousin's like, be nice and like give him another chance and blah blah blah, all this stuff. He comes over and he's like telling me like 100 excuses about why he was terrible. And I said, I believe you, but I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, there will be no, I didn't say there will be no second chance, but like, I basically said, like, we're not doing this again. Just no. I think that you need time to figure it out, and that's not going to be with me, is what I said.
Right. That's reasonable.
Unless
Linda shared a story with us, so I will share a story with you guys too, so we can be both
equally
in a
sharing.
sharing mood, equally sharing. This is the story of how my mom deleted me from her Facebook because she got so mad that I was talking about this publicly. I went on a date with a guy. We come back to my apartment. He goes on a journey down south, and I cannot feel a single solitary thing. I don't feel like his head is moving around. I don't feel anything. So I gave myself a little mic check 1 2 1 2, but I called it something else on Facebook that I can't call it here. It's very funny. It starts with a C instead of an M. A little check, and I was fine. I felt myself having a little check, but I could not feel him. And to this day, I have no idea what he was doing. But I just got up and made myself some breakfast, and he was like, "So, yeah." I was like, "You want breakfast? Because like that's over. Like that's not going any further."
Yep.
I'm not interested in teaching you anything.
Nope.
If you cannot even meet basic anatomical requirements. So anyway, I told this story on Facebook as one of my airing my grievances one year, like Seinfeld does. And my mom removed me from her Facebook account because it was it was a rude story. So for years and years and years, people would be trying to tag my mom on Facebook whenever we're talking about certain things, like especially my cousins, and I'd have to tell them, like, my mom's never going to see this. Like, I don't know why you're tagging.
Yeah, facts. So yeah, listen, y'all. We say all that to say, like, as women, you have choices, and it's okay to stand 10 toes down in your choices. 10 toes down.
Yeah.
I said it right.
Let these men know that they're terrible. Like, when you look at the statistics of how many women are actually not having good sexual experiences versus how many children that they have, it's sad. Like, you shouldn't be having 4 and 5 children. You've never had a satisfactory sexual encounter. Come on.
Exactly. Oof, yuck. Okay, so it's awkward between Courtney and Colt. They're in the hotel room, and she pulls out. It's awkward, right? They're not even communicating. They're just looking at each other, and it's like crickets all over the place. and she pulls out some paperwork that she has because she's researched ways to be creative in intimacy. And this was entertaining to me because it was all like the wheelchair icon and this yellow stick person that was doing all the work. And all I know is like Colt was like, I can't do these things. And he couldn't. At least he was being honest because he has no body strength. And I was gonna say upper body strength, but he just has no body strength at all. And so my note literally says, "Oh God, when he took his robe off, I can't." And that's exactly everything that happened with these pictures that she took out and them trying to be creative, but really we know nothing's going to happen because he's too lazy and she's so like proper that it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They tell each other that they love each other. I love you, which like I rolled my eyes about because you guys like stop telling people you love them if you don't really love them or if you don't know what real love is, right? Because the words are great, but it's the feeling and actions behind it. And for Colt to be doing all the things that he's doing and leeching off of her, he likes what she's doing for him, but he's not in love with her.
Mm-mm.
And he literally says that. He says there's no passion, there's no fire, there's no intimacy. And one of the things that we learn about him in this episode is that sex validates him. So to jump off of what Abby said earlier, where he has no shame, he has no, like, he seems to have no insecurity. He's just goes for it. He also validates himself and his manhood through his conquest and how many women he can be intimate with. And that says a lot. It says everything I need to know about Colt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he's not being intimate with Courtney should tell you everything you need to know about their situation.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about her. He wants
No.
to recuperate. He wants to be taken care of. He wants to have no bills. He wants to pay no rent. He wants to get back on his feet. And by back on his feet, I mean he wants to save all his money so that he can go to Brazil and be with who he really wants to be with, which is
Mm-hmm.
Diana.
And she's stuck on this idea that because he had a physical injury, there is an excuse in there, and it's really not. It's really not. I dated somebody who had knee replacement surgery, so he had like all of those spikes all around his leg and the cast keeping his leg straight. Let me tell you what he did. One night, he's in recovery, yeah, and just, to be flirty and fun, I show him 2 pieces of laundry. You pick which one. I'm going to put it on, and I'll call you and just like cheer you up. I went downstairs to make a sandwich, right? Do you know, by the time I came back upstairs with my sandwich, he was out and he was knocking on my door. He had got in his car and managed to drive straight-legged from Alexandria, Virginia, to where I was living in Southeast at the time, so like 25 minutes. I was so shocked because I was planning on sitting down and eating my sandwich, watching some TV for a little bit before I... But of course, I let him inside, and listen, everything was working, okay?
That's the thing.
So...
Colt's leg has no excuse for his other broken parts. Like he's not into it. And he also has erectile dysfunction. And he's the only one that says he's a great lover. He's the only one. You have not heard Larissa say that. You haven't heard Jess say that. You haven't heard Vanessa say that. He's the only one that's self-proclaimed. So believe what you want to believe. They go out for a night out. They go to the ice bar, which I was like, wait, is that in Florida? Where is that, you guys? Orlando? I want to go to the ice bar. It was right up my alley. I loved all the things. The little furry jackets, the little like long shot things. He's meeting her friends for the first time. And they're not impressed, basically. Her friends from the pool, Sandy and Lexi. When I say they were side-eyeing Colt, they were side-eyeing him. No smile, no nothing. Only like the married couple, because you know married couples are just very like cordial, right? Like stood up, shook his hand, all the things. Sandy and Lexi just looked at him, and it went downhill from there. So no, it was Sandy. Sandy was like, so like what's going on here? Like what's happening? And Courtney's like, well, you know, our major issue is trust. And you know, when they were back at the singles resort, he was talking to 3 other girls, and she just didn't trust him from that. And she also knows his history. And he's like, oh no, but I'm committed to Courtney. And Sandy's like, are you? Because, you know, you don't seem like you are. You seem like you're using her. Are you using her? And Colt got all like defensive and in his feelings. And when asked, are you talking to anyone else? Or are you like truly committed to Courtney? He lied and said that he was not talking to anyone. But meanwhile, he's still talking to Diana. He has feelings for Diana and he wants to be with Diana. And then gaslights not only that group of people, you guys, but us, the viewers. He gaslights us. He says it's none of Sandy's business. He is going to tell Courtney, but just not right now.
He's unscrupulous. He's without scruples. He's without morals. He has no problem lying.
One thing I can't stand is a liar, you guys. I can't, and that's why I don't like Colt. I can't stand a liar. A liar, a deceiver, a manipulator, a gaslighter, no thank you. You're living in Courtney's house, rent-free, bill-free. You can't even be intimate because you have erectile dysfunction. She is your full-time caregiver. She's cutting your hair. She's washing your face. She's friggin' changing your clothes. She's wiping your butt. She's doing all the things. You're using her so that until you can get on your feet, and you're faking that you can't walk because we've seen you walk episode 1, episode 2, and now episode 3. You're pretending that you need to be in a wheelchair so that she has more work to do and has to wheel you around. It's all disgusting and not disgusting. And so they ask her, Courtney, what value is he bringing to your life? And she is now starting to think about it. What value is he bringing? Nada. Not a thing.
No, all she can say is, I like hanging out with him. But here's the thing. I've said this before. A lot of times, ladies, when you think to yourself, I like hanging out with him, think about who makes those conversations fun. Who's making the jokes in those conversations? Who's bringing the intellectual content to the conversation? Who's offering the quality opinions? A lot of times it's just you. So it's not even that, oh, I enjoy his conversation so much. We talk about so many things. It's just because you are an interesting person.
That's right. Facts. Silver Lining is telling us that the ice bar is on Orlando on iDrive. I want to go there. I'm going to go there.
I get those offers all the time to have like the timeshare preview free vacation in Orlando. So maybe we should go.
Listen, I absolutely love South Beach. I almost moved to South Beach. Couldn't do it though because I would be a completely different person and not in a good way. So
I looked for jobs in Miami for a while too.
Oh my gosh. Listen, y'all. Spring breaks every year that I was in uni, and then the year after, no. I had to stop my own self because I was like, oh no. Who is this woman? All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are moving on to Liz. Liz and Via. One of the things I absolutely love about this little segment is Liz is owning what she wants in the moment. She's very clear what she wants. She wants a vacay bay. She wants to have all the attention, all the affection, all the things that you have with a vacay bay, and she wants to leave it there. At least that's what
Mm-hmm.
she's doing right now. And the other thing that I love about this is that she met this guy Via, who is planning dates. Planning dates. Not, hey, let's hang out, and you get there and they're like, what do you want to do? No, he planned the date. She gets to the beach. He has already talked to the activities coordinator, figured out some of the options, thought that they could go surfing, planned the whole date. She loved that. She's never been surfing, so this is not only going to be a great vacay bay experience for her, but it's also going to be an experience that she'll always remember, because the first time she went surfing.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Green flags.
Yeah, I love it too. I love the fact that he's utilizing free services too. That, like, I hate when guys complain about how expensive dating is, especially if you live in a place that offers lots of free services. So, you know, when you're on an all-inclusive resort, they have all these different activities that you can sign up for. So, like, he's utilizing that process here in DC. Every single one of these museums around here, plus the Kennedy Center, has free events all the time. Like, if you're willing to do a little bit of research, you can find the coolest things to do that don't require you to spend very much money. So I appreciated Via doing this.
It's the planning of it all. Take the
Mm-hmm.
initiative and figure it out. That's it. Loved it. So Liz thinks he's hot. She thinks he's easy to talk to. They have a lot in common. And one of the things that I thought was so important that she said, which again, I'm so happy that she's in tune with who she is right now, is that she's having health issues, and she needs to be careful who she lets in her personal space. And health issues or not, I live by that rule.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let anybody into your personal space. And I go as far as, I have friends that I've had for years that have never been to my place, because
Ooh.
yeah, my place is my sanctuary, and that energy, I've had crazy energy in here and I won't be able to sleep. It's a whole thing. So there are certain people that I allow close to me, but not everyone, right? So I have my inner circle. Yeah, they've been in and out of here. People have stayed with me, all the things. But there are friends that I've had that they've never come here. I've never offered, because I also know that their energy is a little like, hey, we can keep it out there and have a good time, but we're not bringing that energy into my house. No, absolutely
Smart.
not.
Smart.
So especially add on, she has health issues. I understand 100% what she was saying about bringing that energy into your space. And, you know, as women, we carry a lot of that care and consideration, and we do bring on a lot of people's energy. So I want you guys to think about that. You know, next time you're around some crazy, you know, it's okay to walk away. You don't have to absorb that.
Yep.
So they go surfing, they take the quick surf lesson, and they go out for a little bit. Via is enjoying Liz's company as well, says there's something about her. She has great energy and good vibes. And when they come back from surfing, another thing that I thought was a green flag about him is that the towels were out there, and he literally took the towel, instead of wrapping himself first, he wrapped her so that she could dry off first, and then wrapped himself.
Right.
And then she helped him out of his shirt. It was just very considerate on both of their ends.
Mm-hmm.
And what I also loved is that she really enjoyed herself. She used her words and communicated that, hey, I had a great time. She said, I would love to hang out again. And he said, I would love to hang out again. She's like, how about tomorrow? He was like, cool. She has butterflies. He has butterflies. She wants to get to know him more. And boom. That's exactly how it should be. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Do you want to add anything to Liz and Via?
Nope.
Last and certainly least in my books is Gino. I know I said this, but I just want to reiterate. Gino and Colt in one season is really a lot for me to handle. It really is a lot. And I feel like I am doing such a good job for not going off on TED Talks. I really feel like I'm restraining myself. Okay, Gino. Gino arrives at Natalie's apartment. She invites them for like this weird tour of this sterile apartment that looks like an insane asylum as far as I'm concerned. And I think, Abby, you already know what I'm going to say. They go to her room. He lays on her bed with his outside clothes on that, he hasn't changed from when he got up, got dressed, went to the airport, went on the plane, took the car service or taxi service, sat in the tea place, and now all of that outside clothes is in the bed that she's gonna. Oh Lord, I don't know. I don't know how y'all live. Cause what? And then
Yeah, that was all crazy.
The bed is like some weird massage, insane, and I don't know. But again, I was in shock.
Mm-hmm.
They move to the living room. Natalie changes. I'm assuming maybe she showered and changed. Gino did not. Had his hat on, same outside clothes. They're going to have a spa night. There's this thing called the Master Blaster, which allegedly...
How much do you think she got paid for that ad? It was so clearly an ad.
It was, because the Master Blaster, and I didn't even write down what the other head stuff was, but allegedly it's a back massage thing and the oils and all the things.
And how exactly do they go about these kind of contracts? I wonder, like, is it like the product says, use us while you're filming, and if it ends up in the scene, then we'll pay you X amount?
So there's two ways. For product placement, it's either going to be a product placement where, hey, this is a can of llama juice, and it's sitting on the counter, and that's all you see. They've paid for that. That's an X amount. Or it's going to be, hey, this is the Master Blaster, and I want you to use it not in a static environment, but include it in the dialogue. That's way more money. But as you see, I'm still talking, but the Master Blaster is in my hand the whole time. That's what they're paying for. And they're paying for 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it is. And when they do the edit is going to be around whatever the ad was and whatever the agreement was.
So then question, the contract is made with the 90 Day Fiancé franchise, or it's made directly with Natalie?
It's made with the production company.
Okay.
So when the production company goes out to seek advertisers, they either have your static ad or an embedded ad, and they figure out what it is. So that's the whole marketing and advertising department. And there's a lot of relationships that are built behind the scenes, so that's why you see oftentimes the same ads. And then there are other type of ads. So when you're streaming and you see the same 5 commercials, it's because they've for each block for that show. So you're watching show X and you're like, why are there not like a variety of commercials? Is because they've paid. That's one company has paid for each spot, each 30-second spot. They've paid for it. So there's layers. That being said, they're on the couch. It's spa night. She says she's been an esthetician for 10 years. She gets Gino to take his hat off because she wants to rub oil on his head. I thought that was fascinating. And she's like, one of the reasons why I want to do that is because as an esthetician, I can get people to relax, and when they're relaxed, they can open up more. And she wanted him to open up because she wanted to confront him about his constant online battle and back and forth with Jasmine. And she feels there's a lot of emotion still there. And there is. And she's like, I don't know what's happening here. And he's like, well, she's lying about me and I have to defend myself and stuff. And she's like, that's a red flag because any emotion is attached to still being in the moment. And I agree with what she was saying because listen, people say crazy things online all the time. You don't have to engage them. And when you engage them, then there's going to be the back and forth, right? And that means you care about it. But if you don't care about it, then you're just going to let them have a one-way conversation and eventually it's going to die down because they're not going to get the attention that they're looking for. So the fact that he's holding on so hard to Jasmine and he has so much venom towards her is crazy to me. I get sick of hearing him complain about Jasmine, to be honest, because he's not owning up to his part and what he did. And
at all.
And then the other part that was annoying to me. So they wrap up spa night. She goes in the room. She comes out with pillows and blankets for him to sleep on the couch. He's shocked because he thought he was just going to jump back into sexy time with her, that she let him into her apartment and therefore they were going to get it on, which is an outrageous assumption as far as I'm concerned. First of all, you lied. You said that she invited you, but you asked her to come out. Second of all, the audacity for you to think that she, after all that you've done and all the messiness that you still have in your life, that you would think that she would want to stay in the same room with you overnight. Are you crazy?
He is. In fact, he is that.
They have this weird, gross kiss goodnight. Gino puts his hat back on to go to bed, you guys. He's like, oh, are you sure you don't want to come sleep with me? Which is another like incel behavior. She already told you her boundaries. She already said what she was doing. She said goodnight to you and you're screaming, are you sure you don't want to sleep in the same bed with me? Out here, it's really like that manipulation is so, Abby, it's just so gross. It's so gross. And men think it's like so welcoming, but we hear it all. It's just gross. If we said no, then no, that's not what we want to do.
Right.
What do you want to add to Gino and Natalie?
I don't have anything else in my notes. I wanted to ask you that production question out of my own curiosity, because I'm always curious when I see a product in a show that's not static, like somebody's manipulating it, if they benefit, that particular individual benefits from that product placement or just the production company or who signs it. That part is very interesting to me the more that I watch the show, because maybe I didn't notice it before, but now I'm seeing a lot more advertisements in the show.
Like even the ice bar, right? So I don't know what the details of their agreement was, but I will say this. So location scouting and finding locations and renting out locations, it's very expensive, right? Because if you're a business, that means you're shutting down for at least the day. That means you're not bringing outside business in. So it's a lot. But that being said, the benefit is you're getting international exposure where you would not necessarily get. So they weigh the cost benefit and they're like, hey, sometimes it's a I'll pay you less money to rent out the location, but I'm also going to give you a prominent feature. And that prominent feature, ice bar, I now want to go to the ice bar. I had never heard of it. Now I want to go to the ice bar in Orlando. And so it worked. So whatever is, there's advertising everywhere. It's just a matter of if you're picking it up or not. But that is how that is how productions pay for the productions, because putting on a reality show is very, very expensive. Putting on any show is very expensive. I felt like I wanted to say something else. Oh well. Here today, gone
More
tomorrow.
production notes next time when you remember, and more production notes next time.
More production notes next time. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels. And what else? Abby, you want to add anything else?
We'll see ya to start catching up on Before the 90 Days soon.
Yes. So you guys, I know that you guys have been asking. We are going to continue with Before the 90 Days, and that will be our next show. So we'll see you very soon. Leave your comments, your likes, your subscribes, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.